Alright, hello everybody. This time I'm playing this visual novel, A Pinch of Magic, which has well, male and female romances and then a selectable protagonist gender. Hello. So technically you could play this as a straight game too, I guess, but I'm not into that. And this might be like a pretty long game, so I don't know if it will actually be 2 sessions, but we'll see about that. Hello. Let's get started right away, I guess. Just let me move a little bit. Yeah, maybe like this. Alright. Oh yeah. Any requests, whether we play the male or the female character first, and if you have ideas, we can name the character too, it seems. So, any ideas? I'll try to think of something too. Probably I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm not sure what the format of the game is, how much branching there is. But I guess if I had to choose, I would go for the female character, I guess. I guess we could just use the default name, I guess. So let me double check how it went exactly. Oh yeah, Warsha. Well, let's go for that, regardless of the gender, I guess. This is what the game page says. You can choose appearance and then the pronouns. If there are no requests, let's go for the female character first. Return means start, I guess. I let out a freeing yawn as I leap down from the bus onto the pavement below, bags in hand. Oh yeah, this is also, I guess, a witch game, so there are good witch games too. Finally made it. Drinking in the familiar surroundings, I take a moment, execute some quick squats. Okay. The brisk stretcher-size is exactly what my compressed muscles ordered, all stiff from the several hour-long bus ride from the city to the sea. I guess that is fine for squats then. At least it's not like the Sims kind of sudden push-ups. I wonder if this is how Jack in the Boxes feel when they pop out. Newly energized, I extend my arms to the tropical sun as if to pluck it from the sky and take in a greedy lungful of delicious sea air. As always, the warm climate here on the coast feels as though it's welcoming me back home, back to the place where I belong. I miss this, all of it, and ahead of me is a summer-long period of peace and respite. So there is a vacation or something. I just graduated high school, and from now on, there'll No parents, teachers, peers reminding me with every breath that I'm waiting to the end of my teenage years with no direction, just the sun, the sea, and this place. My destination, the tranquil seaside town of Linsdale. Nestled in a quiet, crescent-shaped cove on the coast and licked by the starry, deep blue waves of the East Sea, some people have taken to affectionately nickname it Moon Bay. A pretty occultic name, all things considered, but it always seemed perfectly apt because it's also the town my grandmother, my Baba, calls home, and she just happens to be an exceptional and absolutely eccentric witch. All these years later, and I still wouldn't put it past her to have coined Moonbay herself, just because it might help drum up business among the magic folk. For the first time in 3 years, she'd asked me to visit this summer, and I can't wait to resume my magic training. My fingers, electrified, are already tingling at the prospect. So she is, well, going to learn magic after high school. I reached into the pocket of my hoodie, feeling for the letter she'd sent, making sure it's still there. Cursive on vellum and a wax seal. Yep, nobody except that wily old woman would write like this anymore. There's no time like the present. Unable to hide my eagerness to see her again, I hoist my bags up to my shoulders and take off at a sprint up the staircase, leaving the bus stop far behind. Once I leap across the threshold of the stairway's end, I see the sight I longed for and open my lungs wide. Hello, coffee curiosities. I'm home. My grandmother's cafe stands before me, a static monument among the other buildings, utterly unchanged, like a moment in time, perfectly preserved, the way I always remembered it. It reminds me of my childhood, of iced tea in summer, sea salt ice cream, and freer days spent under Baba's tutelage. That in itself is a rare kind of magic that leaves me spellbound. Naturally, my baby cried draws the attention of several passerbys outside the store, many of whom recognize me and wave in greeting. Passerby. Well, I'll be if it isn't Warsaw. Been a spell since you have been back. Still kept that strange habit of greeting the cafe like it's a person I see. Well, she's not wrong. I guess I am a little old to be shouting in public. But as Baba used to say, a witch breathes magic and life into all things. Every word is a charm, every sentence a spell. Now that I think about it, it's totally possible she was just hoodwinking an extremely gullible 5-year-old, but well, it's a cute tradition, so who cares? I wave energetically back. Hey there, It's good to see you again. Do you know if my grandmother is about? That question seems to give her pause, and she forces a smile which can only be read as guilty embarrassment. Oh, you mean she? Well, I'm not too sure. Haven't been in for a coffee for a while, you see. Anyway, I see in you, kid. Well, that's ominous. Before I have a chance to respond, she scuttles off over the hill, leaving me stranded in confusion at the shop door. What in the hemlock was all that about? Glancing over the cafe again, my eyes narrow suspiciously and roam up and down the building. I finally notice one extremely telling clue. It's the height of morning, and yet the curtains are shut tight. Busier still is how quiet it is. Wait, don't tell me. I practically kicked the door down in my provoked state, and once inside, all of my suspicions are confirmed. Meaning, not only are the lights all switched off, not only are there no customers, not only has the door clearly been left unlocked with complete disregard to nasty draughts, thieves or trespassers, but on top of that, Baba is nowhere to be found. The lingering mingled fragrance of sweet teas and bitter coffees temporarily catches me off guard, filling my nose and mind with happy memories, but I quickly remember why I'm here. I stomp across the cafe floor in big strides, making a beeline for the door at the far end of the room. A door hidden behind a heavy satin curtain and bewitched to be invisible to all non-magic customers. Baba, Baba. I stopped dead in my tracks in the secret room, piled floor to ceiling with mystical objects, is Baba's crystal ball table. A table radiating with memories of afternoons sitting in her lap, poring over dusty tomes and having the wonders of magic whispered in my ear. And now, on that table, clearly awaiting my arrival, is a small paper ornament. An enchanted letter folded into the shape of a miniature rabbit. When I enter the room, it turns up its ears and bounds up from its slumber, hopping to the table's edge to greet me. I would recognize this magic anywhere. Well, I guess the Baba is like a rabbit. Now and then it is like he is to order a rabbit or something. It is a cafe too, right? Baba would, while away, I was folding these creatures for me as I studied until she had gifted me the entire animal kingdom out of paper. It never failed to put a smile on my face, which can only mean she's buttering me up for some unsavory news. I skeptically scoop up the paper rabbit in my hand, and at the touch of my finger upon its nose, it unravels itself. Sure enough, my grandmother has inked a note in cursive inside. My dearest Varsha, I have run away since I was the one who invited you to stay with me this summer. I'll venture that this will come as a shock to you. It wasn't part of my plan, but running the cafe was beginning to feel rather droll. Then I remembered it's mugwort season, and also that the witch folk are hosting a mushroom picking festival in the mountains. Much less troll by far. Do not come searching for me. Write to me though, if you want me to bring you back some mugwort. Otherwise, I shall bring you nothing. Okay, so I'm not sure if she is a teenager, but pretty sure like the grandma isn't a teenager. But she ran away from home or work or something. Oh well. Take care of the place while I'm gone. P.S. I hope you have money. The pantry is empty. Well, that is so handy. I knew it. I was expecting like the grandma is dead or something, but well, I guess this is less grim option, but it is kind of well, like not exactly the most like grandma impression most people would have, but well, that wayward old witch. Slumping onto one of the table's squeezy cousins, I throw my arms up in defeat. I absolutely should have expected this, flying through life by the seat of her pants, living by her every whim, dropping things when they no longer suit her. This entire situation reaches into the far recesses of my mind, conjuring up echoes of countless other past examples of how mercurial Baba could be. Closing up at noon to go skinny dipping in the ocean. Wow, well, okay, sure. Hosting a Lua party and passing out after an hour on her own deadly magic punch. The crimes of capriciousness knew few bounds. Okay, well, that is some grandma, I guess. She may have taught me everything I know of magic, but early on I had to master brewing tea and coffee, not just potions, just to keep this place running smoothly. It suddenly dawns on me exactly why that passerby had acted so suspiciously. I bet she cut and ran days ago and told everyone in town not to breathe a word. Yep, sounds about right. No matter how you cut it, she's just running from her responsibilities again. I seriously have no clue how she managed to keep this place running all these years. Yeah, who knows? My lips pressed themselves into a thin, stubborn line. Mugwort tea is my favorite though. I guess it's time to go shopping. An hour or so later, I have made begrudging progress on the cafe's sorry state. With the door now locked and the curtain still tightly drawn, I make use of the privacy by enchanting Baba's dustpan and broom and setting them to work on the floor. Well, that would be handy, like, wouldn't mind it at all. Cleaning up is so much work and I would rather like make games or streams or stuff like that instead. They whiz about the room in a vase, making quick work of any dust or grime in their path. After a brief inspection, all that remains in the fridge is a curdled bottle of milk. The pantry cupboards had also been harboring nothing but dust, but were saved earlier by a trip to the local supermarket. Well, I guess they have supermarkets even though it's with things. Rest in peace, poor wallet. Oh, I know that feeling. Luckily, it also seems the cafe's more expensive wares are in plentiful stock. The exotic plethora of tea leaves and underground coffee beans, unground, oh, would be a little different thing. Underground coffee beans have been safely stored in bags or dry containers. The siphons, mills and other apparatus too are in good working order. Well, I guess this is kind of is the order a bit then, like running a coffee shop. Knowing Baba's devil may care attitude, the situation here could have been far worse. I should count my blessings she didn't let in rats inside those sacks. That moment, as if my words had personally offended her thoughts, Baba's cat slinks into the room and up onto the counter to glare at me. There you are, Hannibal. A witch's family are reduced to rat chaser. How the mighty fall in the wrong hands. But since you don't have anything better to do, if you see any about, you be sure to let me know. When I reach across the counter to scratch beneath her neck, she forgets her grumpiness in a heartbeat and pads off into the bedroom for an afternoon nap. With the dustpan and broom soon done with their work, I thank them for their service and quickly finish putting the cupboards in order. After a satisfying stretch, I pull back the curtains to survey the place triumphantly. Watch out, Linsdale, we are back in business. Standing there with hands on hips, it's a funny feeling that courses through my chest, a kind of liberation and pride that comes with being free to wantonly spellcast for the first time in a painfully long while. I missed it even more than I thought I would. Not too rusty though, thankfully. Now then, the last port of call is to flip that sign, and after that, I guess it's time to brew some criminally delicious coffee. I hope they have hot chocolate because I don't like coffee and, well, I don't really like tea either. But as soon as I step outside, I pause. My senses are once more splashed by the salty air, the sun's warmth, and the far-off songs of a soaring flock of seagulls. And in my line of sight, the sea itself, a shimmering crystal blue expanse calling me back to its edge. Well, I have worked pretty hard, if I do say so myself. Just a little stretch of the legs beforehand wouldn't hurt. And so, with slow, meandering strides, I cross the pavement and pace down the small stone staircase, heading for the beach front. Well, I guess she's like the grandma, like she didn't even open the shop, just well went like goofing off on the beach. I take my time, enjoying the afternoon breeze and the journey all the way to the boardwalk and beyond. When I reach the beach edge, I slide off my shoes and press on, free and barefoot, in the sand. It softly envelops my feet as I walk, like a floor made of satin. The waves too are like rolls of crystalline satin sheets being unraveled into the shore, rolling over rocks, shells and themselves, and gently slipping back to their source. As ever, Moonbay, you're almost too perfect for words. I plop myself down in the sand, stretching out my legs and searching along the water surface for something. I wonder if she's still out there. Who? But before I can continue that thought, the phone in my back pocket hums, and when I retrieve it, I see several texts incoming from my parents. Their messages cascade simultaneously into the group chat, making it plainly obvious they are both sitting beside each other, typing with a joint agenda. Did you arrive safely? You forgot to text us. We were worried. How's Baba? Is she doing well? How's her back? Well, I guess her back is good because she was able to run away. And there it is. I sigh, typing back my regular response whenever they awkwardly attempt to bring her up. If you're that worried, you could always, try talking to her yourself, Dad. I'm sure she'd like to hear from you, from both of you. After a brief exchange, ending in I love yous all around, I fling my phone to the side and fall back onto the sandbed. The history between my parents and Baba was fractured, to say the least, but I'm sure I hope at least that there was some history with one of them, because that would, be pretty bad parenting by the grandma. Well, if they didn't, but oh well. In this world, so few people are gifted with the ability to wield magic. We hide what we are for an easier life. Hundreds of years ago, those without the gift feared us, persecuted us, and worse. The world was messy. The witch folk decided, almost unanimously, that it was better to fade into anonymity than cause trouble. Nowadays, as far as the rest of normal society is concerned, it's known that we exist out there somewhere, but rarely do you see a witch shouting it from the rooftops. Despite the good I know we do, there's no glory in it at all. Well, you know, they could have like secret kind of witch society that stops the world from falling into chaos, something like that. So, as for my parents and Baba, well, Baba had always been an immensely talented witch. The first time I was sent here to stay with her for the summer, I was 3. She taught me a few simple spells, and even though I could barely speak, I guess I was a natural. I still remember her sweeping me up when I successfully levitated a paperclip. She was so giddy, it was impossible for her to contain herself. Oh, I guess like maybe whichever was a child was then well not so good at magic, I would assume. But my parents were different. They never taught me magic, never encouraged me to learn it. All they wished for me was an utterly normal life. They asked Baba to stop teaching me, and that was that. So I guess the parents knew magic too, or so they thought. When they found out I'd flown in the face of their disapproval and had secretly been studying hard under Baba for every summer for 10 years, oh boy. I remember that day, that face went a shade of blue I didn't think was possible outside of being hexed. After that, the relationship became strained. They stopped talking. I became their mediator. They're all offering messages back and forth. I stopped visiting Linsdale for a while to give them all time to cool off. Oh, that is like usual, like family drama, or well, drama between relatives, I guess. Sounds pretty typical to me. Nah. A normal life, a boring life devoid of magic. I feel empty just at the thought of it, but honestly, I don't really have the first clue about what I want to do in the future. If only witch folk didn't have to hide who we are. As I raise myself back up to hug my knees, I realize that I have been absent-mindedly dragging a finger through the sand all this time. I have drawn nothing remotely artistic, of course, just a bunch of badly drawn swirls that barely resemble shapes at all. These are almost as terrible as Kia's. Who is that? A spark ignites a recollection in my mind. A spark which reminds me flying back to before I had been interrupted by my parents' messages. Back to thoughts of a friend from long ago. Yeah, well, I guess for her magic is pretty easy and like no sacrifices either, I guess. Could be worse. My eyes meet the sea again. Kia's home, my childhood friend, who had been as much a part of my summers in Linsdale as my grandmother. Well, I guess the childhood friend romance trope then. Not bad at all. Don't mind that trope at all. She was an extraordinary person in her own right. A mermaid who befriended a witch. Okay, well that's an interesting childhood friend, I guess. Shy and a little fumbling in the beginning, she barely grasped human language. Kia was just about the only sound she could make. Ah, I see. We'd communicate by drawing shapes in the sand, and though hers were terrible, I got pretty good at deciphering them. I could still clearly remember our first meeting here on the shore. I was 5. Mom and Dad had just asked Baba to stop teaching me magic, and I was sailing into the ocean at the top of my lungs. And it was only once my tears had dried up that I noticed a curious baby mermaid who had snuck away from home to investigate the surface, was peering at me through the waves. As I reminisce, maybe something like that, not sure how to pronounce it. Probably reminisce. A smile spread across my face. Kia, that's right. I wonder if she and her family even still swim in these waters. With renewed purpose, I leap up and dust myself off. I tread up and down the beach, scanning the waves for any sign of movement, but unsurprisingly, I don't find a trace of her anywhere. There isn't a fin in sight. Well, that will teach me for being willfully optimistic. As if mermaids would ever venture this close to shore, they'd be found out in a heartbeat. But how do you romance a mermaid then? Well, I guess they can. Like they don't need to be in water all the time if like the mermaid could as a baby come out of the water. But well, not sure how it would work, like it might be a little fishy. Still, I haven't exhausted all my tricks up my sleeve just yet. Determined, I set up and down the beach once again, this time with my eyes to the sand, scoring the golden floor for a very particular object. And finally, wedged between some barnacle rocks, I find exactly what I'm looking for. A prismatic conch, shimmering and weighty to the touch. And more importantly, in the hands of a witch, it's a horn that, when blown, can sing a song that only mermaids could hear. Well, that is very convenient, I guess. Convenient. Sure. It was an ancient spell Baba had taught me as a child. used by the old witches in times of strife to call mermaids to their aid. And together, Kia and I had repurposed it. Since the day we met, it had been my way of communicating to her, "I'm here, I want to see you." Ah. Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out if she's still out there listening for me. As a precaution, I've been about checking for onlookers, but this corner of the beach is deserted. So, reaching in the recesses of my mind for the ancient spell, I pluck out its melody, note by note, and whisper my request to the shell at my fingertips. Yeah, like what would all could like a seashell ocarina kind of a thing do like bend time or seasons or teleport you or stuff like that maybe. Right off the waves, my bottomless heart be an ocean of love built just for thee. And if thou art astray in faraway form, the song of my sea will call you home. As the conch begins to gleam, I gather my breath and blow it gently into its tip. Moo. But no matter how many times I called, Kia didn't appear. The waves simply keep rolling over the sand at my feet, slowly soaking in and causing me to sink. So she left in search of somewhere better after all. No Baba, no Kia. This truly was shaping up to be a pretty miserable summer, and the pang of pain I feel in my chest is sudden but not unexpected. So I hope the mermaid comes back, because otherwise this will be straight romance, and that's no good. Can't have that. Oh, unless like it is like transgender straight romance or something, then that's different. 3 years ago, when I said goodbye and left Linsdale, I didn't know it would be the last time. I didn't get the chance to tell her. Oh, that's rough for the mermaid. Somewhat sad, I shoulders droop a little. She always was so timid and unsure of herself. I wonder if she waited every summer for me to come back, and I never did. Oh, I like where this is going though. Like this kind of like friction between the characters is always nice. I like it. So far it seems like it is pretty meaningful too. Like the good kind of drama. But never want to let sadness get the better of me for long. I clap my cheeks together. At the very least, I know that right now what I can do is see her off with a smile. I'm sorry, Kia, but I hope wherever you are, you're swimming happy, and that your drawings don't suck anymore. After exhaling my feelings cathartically into the afternoon air, I turn heel and head back towards the stairs. It's time to open the cafe for the evening. Oh, better late than not at all, I guess. But as my head swims with thoughts of coffee beans, recipes, and measurements, I forget to check for obstacles in my path, and before I know it, I trip on a mermaid. Well, probably not though. Wah! I collide with someone else. Oh? Beautiful woman. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. Exclamation mark. The bump had successfully knocked me down a stair or two, but as I shake off the pain, her eyes meet mine. Yeah, like, well, I was kind of thinking the same too, like, I don't know if I can do it really. Something like this. Like, ah. Her golden irises, her amethyst hair, everything about her beauty is dazzling, and it temporarily catches me off guard. Oh, ungrateful she seems unharmed. Yeah, exactly like that. I run my fingers through my hair, somewhat embarrassed. Not at all, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention either. Are you alright? Yes, Her quiet voice quickly trails off, but she continues to stare at me with great intensity, looking me up and down with wide eyes. Ah, that's right, the cafe. I don't have time to be wasting here. So I flash her a polite smile and, shooting back up the hill, excuse myself. Well, I'm sorry again. Have a nice evening. Yeah, come to the cafe. Haha. Large leaping strides bring me back to the cusp of the hill in record time. With the afternoon sky already fading into an orange glow, evening is practically here. I have no concrete grasp of how long Baba's cafe has been closed since she cut and run, but there's one thing I know for certain, and that's that I don't want to keep the Linsdale patrons waiting any longer. You could have opened it earlier though. It's funny. If I let slip that Baba's irresponsibleness is what put me into this mess in the first place, I'm actually excited. Rushing about, serving special blends, putting smiles on customers' faces. It was difficult at first, maybe, but I grew to love it. Positive vibes, Varsa. Maybe this will be a good summer after all. With renewed energy, I begin to mentally roll up my sleeves. But just as I round the corner, an unpleasant sight makes my newly buoyed mood sink faster than a stone anchor. Water. Directly outside the cafe, pulled unceremoniously up onto the curb, is a garish red sports car. It's brand new and clearly far too expensive to belong to any resident in Lansdale. Are you serious? What sort of centric idiot parks their car square in front of a cafe in front of a shop entrance. Oh, I guess cafe shop entrance, but yeah. Already ticked off, I watched as an elderly man with a cane struggles to shuffle through the gap in the pavement, grasping at the cafe's wall for support. He gets his revenge as he passes by though, flipping the bird to the car's tinted windows as he goes. Ha, you go, Grandpa. And if I had any doubts that this gaudy rider would spell trouble, they are blown away as soon as the driver steps outside. A tall, blonde fop in sunglasses and a jean jacket slams the door behind himself, yawning loudly. Leaning back lazily onto the car roof, he slips his sunglasses up into his hairline and clicks his tongue at the elderly man's back. I am about to storm up and give him a piece of my mind when he pulls out his phone, the latest model, it looks like, and begins snapping up landscape shots of the cafe. May I help you? Sliding his free hand casually into his back pocket, he turns to flash me a smile. It's so not cute. Blonde fop. Are you the owner? Well, I guess technically not, because the grandma is still the owner, I guess. Kind of chaotic music. I square up my shoulders as much as humanly possible, arms folded closely. Yes, I am. Name's Varsha, and I don't appreciate you blocking the door my customers use. Customers? He cockily raises his eyebrows and looks around at the now very empty street. He pulls down his sunglasses once or twice in a mocking motion. Well, how's about that? I guess my prescription's wrong because I don't see a single soul sniffing around. Looks like what you have here is a bona fide dead spot. Dead spot? You better not be insulting my cafe. Another condescending smile slowly stretches across his face. He's clearly looking down on me and doesn't care to provide any kind of answer. He just continues on, ignoring my question. Not an insult per se. As it so happens, this is exactly the sort of place I'm looking for. With a twinkle in his eye, he straightens up and spins his phone into both hands. His whole demeanor changes as he begins typing on the screen with lightning speed. So, what's your specialty here? Cafe Cubano, Chinese teas, matcha. You do serve something other than salty tap water, I assume? Sure, there's a bottle of rancid milk in the fridge with your name on it. Yes, all of those things, beyond some backwater cafe that only serves standard drip swill. So you run this place with someone else. My grandmother, she's not here right now, and probably never will be. Well, I guess she said that she would bring some herbs back or something, so maybe she will be back, who knows. And what's this place called? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the damn sign, poster boy. I said loudly and dramatically. Coffee, curiosities. His fingers pause, they're tapping for a moment. He takes the time to raise a smug eyebrow at me. Right, bravo. No, really, it's inspired. A little desperate and only slightly nauseating. He stands up straight and takes one more large, gulping glance at the cafe's facade. Then he flips his phone and snaps a headshot of my startled face. It's a perfect blend of a material for my blog, that is. Oh yay. Oh yay, it is a coffee enthusiast blogger or something like that, I guess. Your blog? He gives me a look that is equal parts smug and pitying. It's perhaps the most punchable expression I have ever seen. You have no idea who I am, do you? Well, I definitely don't. No. Wait, but now that I get a really good look at him, actually it does look somewhat familiar. Here, a souvenir. Don't bend it now, it's a premium embossed. With a wink, he slips a business card in my hand. Fancy gold script spells out cuisine blogger and the name Mika. Thanks. Guess I'll use it when I run out of toilet paper. Whoa. Oh, I guess. If it's made of paper, like if it's made of plastic, then don't use it, I suggest. I snap the card from his fingers, making sure to look thoroughly unimpressed. As I do, his smarmy veneer cracks just a little at that. Charmed, I'm sure. Now then, let's hope your coffee widely lives up to my expectations, shall we? I can feel my blood boiling. The way that smirk plays at the edge of his mouth, it's perfectly obvious that his expectations are. It's perfectly obvious what his expectations are. I still won't expect the rancid milk though. Though I still can't place his face. I have read about bloggers just like him. Vindictive types traipsing around the country, targeting coffee shops with small customer bases, searching for the worst of the worst for their scathing reviews, like sharks feasting on krill. But I'm sure that sharks don't really eat krill, more like whales. Though maybe some sharks might, but most don't. Most sharks eat like bigger fish. Well, penguins or seals, I guess. Although that's besides the point, I guess. For a second time, I slide my gaze grimly over his red sports car with its ostentatious wheels, shiny mirrors, and waxed gleam. I suppose when you're the scum on the surface of the industry, it doesn't matter if you destroy businesses wherever you go. As long as those clicks keep coming. Well, it could be like a decent blogger or two, but who knows? Well, he's not going to drag Baba's cafe through the mud on my watch. So here I am in the flesh. Your only paying customer and all that. I drove 2 hours from the city to find this place. Aren't you going to let me in? I stride up to the door and start to unlock it, but inwardly, that boiling blood is starting to boil over. I'm in no mood to play nice. In fact, just for the audacity of coming here and trying to mess with a witch's business, I'm pretty happy to play just a little dirty. With the help of some magic. Slipping my hand unconsciously behind my back, I start to weave a spell in the air. I step towards him, all the while a sweet smile plastered on my face. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. You're welcome to my coffee. Quickest way to get you off my property. But you might not want to step inside just yet, because... Okay. Well, it probably doesn't matter. Let's go for this, I guess. The seagull just stole your phone. Oh, that sounds like a prank too. He pivots on his heels to see the gigantic seabird that is now squatting on the top of the roof of his car, phone in beak. I'm pleased to see that after being summoned, it took the time to excrete on the car before it landed too. It's a nice touch, if I do say so myself. Hey buddy, I'm going to need you to give me back my phone. It's very expensive and it was a gift, so alright, just give it back, yeah? Deliciously flustered, Mikhail edges closer to the seagull, trying not to scare it back into the skies with the phone in tow. Please. The seagull blinks at him with bored indifference. So just give it back to me. He lunges towards the seabird like a complete idiot. Finally compelled to move, the bird immediately drops the phone and rockets itself up into the air, and in the process its clawed webbed feet tear through the fragile paint and metal on the car roof, leaving a permanent deep scar on the surface. Okay, well, oops. Mikhail rushes forward and falls upon the car in misery, like a man whose soul has been crushed. Bianca, my darling, no, no. Oh God, Father is going to kill me. Nyah. With timing so impeccable, I'm almost convinced I somehow cast a second spell. Mikhail's phone explosively starts to ring. Upon seeing the caller ID, the blood drains from his face. Beep. Father, Good to hear from you. No, I'm fine. You're back from Hawaii? Oh, well, yeah, of course I can, but, Mother, about the car you bought me? Well, see, it's a funny story. Ha ha ha. Having completely forgotten me, Mikael woefully shuffles away out of earshot to take the phone call. ... That wasn't my fault, right? Yes, sure wasn't. Yeah, accident, Warsaw. Not vandalism, just an accident. Yeah, accident just happened, I guess. Yup, nothing to worry about. And so, mostly smug, yet just ever so slightly regretting my influence on this turn of events, I take the opportunity to back away through the cafe door, swinging the sign to open along the way. What was the point though? The minutes and then tens of minutes painfully tick by, not a single potential customer steps inside or even hazards a peek through the windows. I start by leaning over the counter, head in palms, alternating between watching the clock hands and the bell above the door, but I quickly get bored and my twitchy hands tap the counter, searching for something to do. Mikael's business card is nearby, exactly where I had thrown it earlier, so I retrieve it and twirl it around absent-mindedly. Let's find out how famous this guy really is. Oh, seriously. A quick phone search pulls up hundreds of results. Blog posts with hits into the tens of thousands. Sponsorship ties to the prominent worldwide cafe chain Moonbugs. A hefty follower base on social media, and even a narcissistic modeling portfolio of monochrome, shirtless photographs. Well, that will be something for the male protagonist, I guess. Just great. As if I don't have enough problems right now. And what's with these pictures? He's dripping wet in half of them. Did someone turn on a hose or something? So stupid. Now more irked than ever, I chuck my phone aside and go back to watching the clock. All this inactivity is doing nothing except stiffening my muscles and making me anxious. 30 minutes and not a whiff of anyone, not even one of the regulars. This can't be right. No, it probably would be like a good idea to let people know that the shop isn't closed anymore. I recall my previous summers here, and there were always known magics and witch folk around, mingling, joking, and shooting friendly banter back and forth with Baba. Back then, her cafe had never seemed wanting for patrons. Each day, a steady stream of satisfied customers would come and go at an even pace. It had never been busy, but it was comfortable. Sure, it's unlikely that there would be a lot of rich folk making the trip right now. No doubt, they are all up on that mountaintop with Baba, picking muckwood and betting on drunken duels. But for there to be none magics around either. I glance back at the clock, disappointed by what I see. Well, I don't think evening is the most ideal time for a cafe exactly. It's far too late now to be trying to pluck customers off the street, but if I root around, there may be something of use laying around somewhere. So, determined to be productive in some capacity, I troll through some of the lower kitchen cupboards, hoping to find something to use to attract new customers in the morning. Sensing activity, Hannibal slinks into the kitchen and curls around my leg. With a pointed meow, she leads me to a hatch under a rug on the floor below one of the opened cupboards. Nice, good job, Hannibal. What is it though? She purrs silkily and continues to circle around as I rummage through the contents of the hatchbox. There isn't much of use, but I do stumble on an old signboard for advertising and some pastel chalk sticks. This is perfect. If I spruce it up a little, it will do for a mini menu at the end of the street. Oh, that will help a little bit at least. Hannibal pokes her little head beneath my arm, demanding screeches for her hard work. I'm so distracted, I fail to hear the bell chiming at the door. Good girl. Who's going to get some fishy wishes tonight? That's right, you are. Excuse me. Oh, just a second. I'll be right with you. Clutching the bruised crown of my head that just exchanged blows with my cupboard door, I totter embarrassedly back onto my feet and heave myself over the counter. A radiant sight greets me. It's the lady. Hello. Fishy wishes. Sorry. I was just talking to the cat. Oh, I remember you. Her eyes visibly sparkle and her cheeks pinken. You do? Of course, the lady from the beach, right? I'm so sorry again for bumping into you back there. Oh no, that's quite alright. So that's what she meant. Somehow she looks kind of sad. Did I say something wrong? An awkward silence settles over us. As it stretches on, she starts to comb her finger nervously through a loose curl of hair. Well, this is a fine way to start the evening, by making my only customer uncomfortable. Applying my kindest, most sincere smile, I gesture toward one of the seats at the counter. I can at least salvage this situation by acting professional now. Where are my manners? You're here to order, right? What can I get you? We have a menu around here somewhere. as I rummage around behind the counter. Though her body language is shy, the woman's striking, sandy eyes watch me intently. I can't help but feel a little nervous. Here it is. I slide the menu across the counter. A lavish, high-end tablet listing all our served items, including coffee blends, black, white, and green teas, small meals and desserts, but not hot chocolate, I guess. But this tablet, much like the cafe itself, has a mystical secret up its sleeve. A coffee cup shaped tab on the screen, enchanted to be invisible to non-magic customers, conceals a hidden second menu, one that displays some of Baba's oldest potions and other recipes designed for more magical patrons. I admit, I was surprised to find such a thing myself. A paper menu was all that had existed before. But the tablet looks brand new and screams impulse purchase, which unfortunately also happens to be one of Baba's many bad habits. The woman crazily takes the tablet from me, tucking a periwinkle curl behind one of her stylish earrings. She begins scrolling intuitively through the menu. She's so elegant and glamorous, and her eyelashes have this beautiful dewy quality to them, like black waves breaking on the beach at night. So strong was that association, I was curiously struck by a sense of familiarity, but then, you have nothing new on the menu, I take it. Sorry, you could say I'm somewhat of a regular here. I know this place and its owner very well. Oh, then I take it you also know my grandmother is out of town right now. I do, but it's not trouble at all. I don't come here today to see her. She tilts her head shyly. It's a devastating move, but I don't think she's doing it on purpose. Oh, I almost misread this word. Is she enjoying her vacation? Yeah, I'm sure she's having a whale of a time. She pulls stunts like this far too often. I'm half convinced she dragged me back here just to rope me into running this place for a few weeks. The woman shuffles somewhat bashfully in her seat, lowering her eyes to her lap. Oh, if it brought you back to Linsdale, then I'm glad she did. Just think of this as Celeste's encounter. Did she mean to say serendipitous? With a gentle smile, she clears her throat and taps the screen with her nail. The highlighted drink is the salty kelp latte, a popular sea-based item from the secret menu. This one, if I may, it's my usual order. Exclamation mark. Usually she has nothing to do with the mermaid. Sure thing. It will be just a moment. I flash her a knowing smile before stepping over to the kitchen area to prepare her order. As I lay my hands on the glass bottle of kelp leaves, a spark of inspiration hits me, and so I... Well, let's prepare it with magic and hope it goes well. With nobody else here, why be ordinary when I can afford to be a little flamboyant? With a snap of my fingers and a series of illuminated shapes traced in the air, the ingredients hit my coal and begin to dance around me in a flourish. A dash of sea water, a pinch of sugar, and the star of the show, the salty kelp. The kelp blades weave their way through the air until they collide and part, crushing themselves into fine powder. It falls like emerald snow into the basin of a china cup that dances its way into the woman's hands. Ah, wow, it's so... Haha, pretty cool, huh? But the magic show's not finished yet. Last to arrive is the steamed milk, unfurling itself from a nearby jug like a porcelain ribbon. It winds its way into the cup, slowly mixing with the other ingredients. As the last drop falls, I bring my palms forward to bless the drink with one final drop of something special. A pinch of magic. And now, for the finishing touch, could you tell me your name? She looks agitated, as if she had particular trouble answering the question. It's, Kiana. Right, she died, Kiana. Surely has nothing to do with the mermaid, right? I reach across the counter for a tin, nuzzled bottle filled with caramel, and in small, delicate letters, write her name across the milk foam. And there we have it. Bon appetit! As she puts the drink to her lips, the warm steam brings a soft flush to her cheeks. A small, contented sigh escapes her as she returns the cup to the saucer. So, my salty kelp latte, does it meet a mermaid's approval? Yes, very much so. It's scrumptious. Ahaha, glad to hear it. But I'm pretty sure you mean scrumptious. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. Human language is so, hard. Right? I have been studying so much, but I still mess up all the time. Well, I still mess all the time too. Well, sometimes at least. More so with the pronunciation, I guess. But English is hard. But English is hard, especially when, like, though you live somewhere where there are like zero opportunities to speak English. So it's tricky to, like, well, nail down the pronunciation exactly. And the school is also like, well, they could have taught us how to pronounce things, but nah. Her whole face breaks out in a fierce flush. The quiet elegance I had seen in her earlier had completely peeled away. Nothing could have prepared me for this. It's like her demeanor had done a complete 180. I thought she was demure, but I guess she's just shy about making mistakes in front of a human. Either way, it's absolutely adorable. Oh, I could bring the salt seeker if you wanted. Oh, there we have it. Not sure if there is a whole lot of use. I will have to unequip it the next time I drink. Haha, don't apologize, that's cute. The way you mix up your words, it reminds me of... No way. Kia. Oh, I thought she already had realized it. But yeah, I thought the main character had figured it out, but I guess not. And so, I have been visiting the cafe ever since my adrenaline ended. I suppose I look quite different now, don't I? That's quite the understatement. I didn't recognize you at all. An hour later, Kia and I are sitting together, lattes in hand, at the counter. We have been talking so animatedly, I barely think either of us have paused for breath. By now, I recognize her familiar shyness and her adorable mannerism, but I have to admit, seeing her adult human form for the first time is still throwing me for a loop. Perfectly understandable when I consider she still looked like a child 3 years ago. The changes to her face, in particular, are profound, but not unexpected. After all, I know very well that mer people experience growth very differently from humans. A mer person's childhood, their primeling period, would last for the time they hatched until they reached the normal age of human adolescence. Throughout the primeling, mer children would barely appear to age at all, maintaining a childlike appearance for years and years. And then, at the primeling's end, what awaited them was a highly accelerated transformation into an adult body and the ability to adapt to human form. Well, that's convenient. Convenient for the romance, I guess. There would have been like more exciting if like, well, like the skirt here was just hiding like the mermaid tail thingy. That would be nicer. Yeah, I have no idea what it is, but I assume it is, well, basically like childhood kind of a thing for mermaids. The well, at least like it's different, but like, well, it's not like feels like just, well, stay small and then go big like after eating a red mushroom. Yeah, I think it's probably like that. But like, well, if mermaids are like half fish and half people, you would think that they would like, well, grow gradually, but well, I'm not one to complain. At least this is something more like unique, I guess. After I met Kia, because we couldn't really communicate at first, I remember wanting to learn more about her kind. I found out about the Prineling and the chains through one of Baba's old books. As I also recall, I had to climb up her bookcase like a monkey to get it, and slipped on the way up. Kia cried for hours when I turned up at the beach covered in bruises. So, when did your Prineling end? When I was about 17. It was a year and 3 months after you left. Now that I was counting. When she catches me smiling, Kia turns away and scrambles for her drink. It's the cutest thing. But I'm suddenly reminded of something else. Wait, earlier, didn't you say your name was Kiana? Well, after you didn't seem to recognize me at the beach, I was a little embarrassed. She sighs heavily, resting her hand over her heart. And even though I came to the cafe just to see you again, I still couldn't bring myself to say anything. Oh, but Kiana is the land name I chose for myself, so I wasn't exactly lying to you. I just had trouble pronouncing it when we were children. I do use it around Linsdale. My family in the ocean still use my sea name, of course. I probably shouldn't pry into that. Mermaid sea names are private, intimate things. After all, I guess I should be careful not to call her Kia too much around town, though, either. With that niggling question out of the way, I loop the conversation back around to what really matters. So, how was it? Your change, I mean? Oh, it was, better than I expected. The growing pains were bad for a while, but compared to the others who experienced it at the same time, my change was relatively quick. She takes the last few sips of her latte, then lays the empty cup down and fingers it pensively. I'm just happy that my outside finally matches what I'm inside. When we used to play on the beach together, we couldn't go far because, well... Yeah, well, or maybe you can. I chuckle as I head back around the kitchen counter to wash our cups and saucers. No legs. Right. You were growing up, and in my mind, I was growing up with you, but physically, for me, nothing was changing, and every year, it felt like you were getting further and further away, and there was nothing I could do about it. I used to draw so many shapes in the sand, all the things I wanted to do, all those places I wanted to visit. But because of me, we couldn't do any of it. Her eyes glaze over. She suddenly looks quite dejected. Not wanting to watch her beat herself up, I take her hand in mine. Ah. Oh, now it's getting lewd, I guess. But we can now, right? Exactly. No more hiding in the rock pools or covering up her fins with a blanket I brought from the cafe. We can stray as far from beach as we like now, go anywhere we want. Now that you have your human form, the world is your oyster. Oh, I guess. You just let me know what you want to do and we'll do it. Yeah, sure, even if it's something lewd. It works like a charm. Kiana's sandy eyes light up as she leans across the counter, brimming with excitement. Okay. I like the thing you say at that kind of situations. Well, in like visual novels and such, would be like really anything. Oh, but with your grandmother gone, you'll be working here full time, won't you? Then until we can do something, I'll just stop by every day to see you. I shrugged my shoulders, gesturing towards the empty room in an exaggerated way. Ha, thanks. I'd appreciate the company in more ways than one. As you can see, this place isn't exactly hopping. Without a regular or two, quite honestly, I might struggle to make ends meet this summer. And based on today, I'll take just about any customer I can get. Anyone but that vain fop, anyhow. The more I remember his smug face, the crabbier I get. It's at the point when I realized that I'm not so much trying the cups as grinding the towel into them that jingle jingle. The bell at the door rings for a second time. Welcome, just take a seat and I'll be with you straight. Speak of the devil. Wow. Mikhail strides inside, looking the interior over the boat, over with both hands sewed into his jean pocket with a slightly furrowed brow. He's looking decidedly less cool and collected than this afternoon, though it's obvious he's trying his best to mask it. Nice place you have here. The drafty cracks in the walls are a particularly nice feature. Ah, he is not cute. Not at all. My jaw joints creak like unoiled metal as I force a smile. Linsdale's tourism prides itself on the town's invigorating beachy sea breeze. Why deprive our customers just because they are indoors? Cute. Very cute. Sensing Kiana's discomfort, I gestured to the counter seats with an audible huff. Well, sit down if you're here to order. You are here to order. Mikhail slides into the seat directly beside Kiana. He beams obnoxiously as he pulls out his phone. Of course, and I don't need a menu. Just show me the best attempt at coffee. You going to pay for it? Yeah, it's like $1,000, but well, you wanted it right? Please, of course I will. I'm not trying to put you out of business. Though I retreat to the back of the kitchen to begin scooping and grinding the coffee beans, I keep one watchful eye on Mikhail at all times. Thankfully, though his gaze is still roaming all over the interior, he isn't trying to snap pictures. But it's obvious he's searching for something, a juicy tidbit, a draw for his story. And so, after his eyes complete the rounds of the decor, they naturally come to fall on his neighbor. Are you a regular here? Yes, I come here almost every week. His eyes widen in genuine surprise. Really? What's your usual order? If it's that good, maybe I should have ordered that too. Oh, she flutters her eyes to me, begging for assistance, but I'm way ahead of her. I make the 3 strides back to the counter in a heartbeat and step in. She's a special customer. Her order's not on the menu, and it's shall we say, an acquired local taste. I doubt you'd like it. Gotta admit though, I'm sorely tempted to put seawater in his coffee just for the heck of it. Must resist. Not just go for the rancid milk. I like seawater and rancid milk, and then I don't know, like regular beans and not coffee beans. That would be perfect, right? Well, that's a shame. You'll have to let me in on the secret of that drink sometimes, miss. Ever sweet and polite, Kiana holds out her hand to introduce herself. Kiana. Just Kiana is fine, and I'm afraid I don't know much about the recipe, or coffee for that matter. Just as I become concerned that Mikhail might be about to defile Kiana's hand with a kiss, another one of those pretentious business cards appear in his hand and he drops it into hers. Enchanté. I'm Mikhail, and I just happen to be an expert on coffee. I'm a cafe blogger. Oh, cuisine. Or cuisine, I guess. Or could be like cosine. It's pronounced cuisine. Probably. Kiana, it means food. I turn to Mikhail and scramble for a cover-up. She's not from around here, but her accent. He doesn't look convinced at all, but thankfully Kiana's poor-hearted curiosity comes to the rescue. You write about food. Then you're here to write about coffee curiosities. Yes, that's the intention. No doubt you have heard of my... But Kiana has already stopped listening. Vasha, this is perfect. Now you won't have to worry about finding customers. Once he tastes your coffee, he's sure to love it. And if he writes something good, people will come from all over Linsdale. Yeah, sure, if only it worked like that. And well, even if you get like one good review, like, doesn't mean that people really remember you for longer than a couple of days. Kiana, my sweet summer child, your innocence is wasted on him. He's not that kind of a plugger. As I slowly turn the coffee grinder, I give Mikhail a disapproving side eye and he shifts in his seat. The twitchy guy sitting beside you only visits coffee shops he expects to be bad. His blog is just a collection of hatchet jobs designed to be shocking and to tank any business he writes about. He's only here because he thinks my coffee is going to taste so undeniably terrible it will make for a juicy article. With one last yank, I grind the last of the coffee beans into dust. Or have I missed anything out? Mikael practically rolls his eyes into the next century. Hey now, you make it sound like I'm the enemy here. Ask my darling readers and they'll tell you the only two things I'm guilty of in this business are being criminally handsome and honest. Well, I'm sure the male protagonist will agree there more. And the coffee they served at all of those other cafes just happened to be honestly awful. Yeah, super modest for sure. So just think of it this way. This is your perfectly fair chance to impress me. Not that you will. I have savored all the finest blends this world has to offer, but you're welcome to try. But what happens like if the cafe is like mediocre? Like, do you just not write an article at all? Although probably also like if it's a good one. It seems to take Kiana a few moments to process all of this information. I guess he still isn't all too knowledgeable about this side of human society yet. But once it does click into place, she looks crushed. But that's... how could you do something like that to hardworking people? That's so despicable. And I guess that one was supposed to be despicable, or how was it like in the previous one? Oh well. I'm happy she has my back. Kiana's just wasting her breath. Besides, this coffee critic just unwittingly challenged a witch. I'm not the one who's about to be eaten alive. Oh, I hope the guy isn't here like a... if this is become a horror game I'm not going to play. It's alright, Kiana. He has the right to do what he likes, and so do I. All I have to do is prove him wrong. Yeah, I hope it won't be cannibalism. That's not my cup of tea at all. So go ahead. With a single finger, I slide the cup across the counter in one fluid motion. He stops just shy of Mikhail's hand, taunting him like a gauntlet being laid down in a declaration of war. It emits a powerful bitter aroma, so tantalizing that it clings to the air and doesn't let go. A mouth-watering aroma no person could resist. I don't know, like bitter doesn't sound good to me. Why not a sweet aroma? Why can't coffee be sweet? The secret house blend, with a little pinch of something special mixed in. I sneak Kiana a mischievous wink, and she understands my meaning implicitly. Drink up, you won't be disappointed. What's the matter? You should drink it before it gets cold. I won't let you use the excuse that it was bad simply because you ruined its flavor by letting it sit too long. Yeah, I guess that's why people put like a ton of sugar in the coffee. I guess that, well, that is a way to make it sweet, but well, I drink coffee then, why not drink hot chocolate? Well, I didn't mean to like bash people who like actually coffee, but well, I just have like a child's taste buds. But I'm sure like people can genuinely enjoy coffee, but I can't. Yeah, well, probably boils down to like what is your taste. Brimming with devilry, I decide to push him just a little harder. As the expert here, you wouldn't make that mistake, would you? Watching him squirm and tug at the collar of his jacket, I realize I'm enjoying myself far too much. Still, I don't take my eyes off him. I stare him down until he finally gives in, puts the cup to his lips, and it's rancid. All that bravado and it's mediocre after all. But he takes another sip. Exactly, it's completely another. Completely another. Oh, that is a difficult one to say somehow. He drinks and drinks until the winner rips away, and he finally throws his head back, shamelessly chugging the hot liquid until he has lapped up every drop, and the bottom of the cup is all that remains. Ha! Hunching over, he slams the cup down on the counter and stares at it in dumb disbelief. He's shaken and a little breathless, and there's something clouded about his expression. You know, this is also why you don't drink coffee, like you get addicted to it. Yeah, that is coffee, I guess. Yeah, like maybe if I drank it a ton, maybe I would get addicted to and I would drink it despite. But well, want delicious. It's 9 p.m. Closing time draws near on this, my first day of running the cafe. As I finish scribbling down orders in the pad of receipt paper, I rip the page out and hand it over. So, 3 secret blends, 1 small and 2 grandies. That will be 7 gold. He's been scowling like this ever since he finished his first cup. Truthfully, he looks most mystified than anything else. After the first cup, he'd sat shell-shocked for several minutes, then sprang up and demanded 2 more of the same drink in one quick succession. When they were ready, Kian and I huddled together, watching him discreetly over the tops of our own lattes. He never took more than one small sip at a time, crossing his arms and quietly ruminating over the taste before going back for another sip. We lost count on how many times he furrowed his brow, how many pictures he took, and how many notes he typed into his phone. After half an hour, I thought he'd finally admitted defeat, but Mikael, 7 gold. Right now, Mikael is clutching onto his gold, pouting comically. He looks like a child who doesn't want to give up his favorite marbles unless his parent agrees to trade him a cookie. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost feel sorry for him. No matter how hard he racks his brain, he's never going to figure out the secret. Wait, why do I feel more guilty for cheating coffee than I did wrecking his car? Oh, right, yeah, here. Thanks, here's your change. I don't get it. How? Tell me how. It's all finally too much for his pride, and he explodes, slamming his hand down on the counter. How is your coffee that good? This place has terrible reviews everywhere. It's a dead spot online. There's no way the coffee could be this good. Wait, terrible reviews? When he sees that I have no intention of answering him, Mikael clasps his head, defeated and sighs. He's still pouting like a little kid. Tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to make absolutely sure it wasn't a fluke. I'm not writing my review until I know you're not cheating, so bring your A game. Looking forward to it. Ha! He concedes and stomps away to gather up his phone, and as he moves out of earshot, a very apologetic looking Kiana takes his place. She leans in and whispers in my ear, "Is he going to be alright? He looks kind of upset." He'll get over it, and I have a feeling he might turn out to be quite useful. As I had done for Mikael, I write out her receipt and pass it on. Here you go. How were the lattes? Not salty enough. Oh, I could have always make them more salty. She puts her hand on her face, cheeks pink with contentedness. Not at all, they were perfect. Even more so than your grandmother's. Your kelp lattes leave me feeling completely refreshed. Being out of the sea for so long sure must be tough, huh? Anytime you need a pick-me-up, you know where I am. Thank you. Just as Mikael is making his way back, Kiana puts her hand into her purse, fishing around for gold. She's fumbling a little, like she's having trouble. I forgot. Maybe she doesn't even know how human currency works yet. But before I can cover her, Mikhail steps forward, trying to act chivalrous. No need to be flustered. I have more than enough for the both of us. Oh, it's fine, I think. Here, is this enough? She tips out the entire contents of her purse into the table, a whooping shiny mountain of gold. Individual coins spill off the counter into the floor. What the? Kiana, it was 8 gold, not 800. Oh. Well, that's okay. I had so much anyway. Just take it. Oh. Well, I guess I'm getting paid. Like, well, this is like the epitome of like your average like YouTuber who throws like $100 bucks or $800 into super chats. If you can like ever even like throw super chats at me, like don't throw that much. It's not good. Would you like me to pay for yours too, Mr. Mika? No, it's mumbling something about how he had already paid. Mika picks his jaw up off the ground and quickly sees himself out. Oh, that's sure got to be a hit on the ego in multiple ways for one evening. Did I say something wrong? Haha, no you didn't, don't worry about it. I paused, thinking back to what Mikael had let slip earlier. Kiana, this cafe, does it have a bad reputation in Linsdale? Late in the night, I'm staring absent-mindedly into Baba's crystal ball with my head on the table, a fuzzy blanket around my shoulders, and Hannibal in my lap. Baba's rabbit-shaped letter is still hopping about on the desk, deftly dodging all of Hannibal's impish paw swipes. So I'm sure like the problem is that like, well, the grandma could probably make good stuff, but she probably gets like this like impish itch to mess up with people and give them like, well, rancid milk. All around us, the dustpan and broom go about the nighttime cleaning. Sweep, sweep. Dot, dot, dot. I still can't stop thinking about it. Terrible reviews. That's what he said. Kiana didn't seem to know anything about it. But then again, I doubt she'd pay much attention to something like that. No reason not to just find out myself. Once and for all. I slip my phone from my pocket, punch in a few keywords and hit enter. Sure enough, it turns up a dozen results, none of them good. About this, at least it turns Mikael hadn't been exaggerating after all. These small star ratings, mentions of the crummy decor, photographic evidence of bad service, there's even one that looks like a secret shot taken from under someone's armpit. No way, Baba's just plain asleep in this one at the counter, just not even trying to hide it. All the public reviews, at least, seem to have been written from the point of view of outsiders, but that doesn't comfort me much. It only means that the Linsdale residents still care enough about Baba as a friend to not out her online. And let me guess, all these ratings go back, yep, 3 years ago. Not so sadly back to the end of my last summer at Linsdale. Well, I guess the grandma hasn't been too motivated. Suddenly extremely irked all over again, I grab a pillow and hurl it in the general direction of the bookcase. Several old ledgers come tumbling down and clatter on the ground. Honestly, Baba, you're a powerful witch. If you didn't even want to run a cafe in the first place, why didn't you just do literally anything else? This is exactly why Dad always worried about you. After screaming out some of my frustration into the void, I haul myself over to the tatty pile of books and start gathering them up. Hannibal trots near, stepping all over the ledges, then curls up on them for a snooze. She's about as helpful as a sixth toe. Oh, it's a cat. And what about you, Didn't think to mention that tidbit, did you? The truth is, even if her heart had never really been in the cafe, I know exactly why Papa chose to stay in Linsdale all these years. Once she had laughed and told me it was because she could lie on the sand in a bikini, drinking coconut juice every day, but really, it was because of all the shirtless surfers, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, Grandma, sure. So that gets you all motivated. I pick up the last of the ledgers, shaking Hannibal off the cover, but I stop when I realize it's this year's edition. Something in me holds back from returning it to the shelf before taking a peek inside. A feeling, or more like a terrible witch's intuition that Baba had one more bony skeleton in her closet, waiting for me to discover it. Her escape, the bad reviews, the empty pantry, the shifty locals, even the brand new tablet, all the clues were aligned to suggest one very damning picture. So I thumbed through the first few pages and my face grows ashen. Ah ha ha ha. I knew it. She's totally broke. Oh, that's what you get for not caring too much about actually serving the customers, I guess. It's almost as if I can feel the skeleton of fate springing from the darkness of that proverbial closet to put its hands around my neck. But that's not all. At my feet, the tiny paper rabbit bounds up, cruelly announcing by a cute tilt of the head that it has one more message for me. Sure, it levitates and unfolds itself in the air, stopping at eye level. The space at the very bottom of the letter slowly stains with ink. A second postscript that had been hidden until this exact moment. Varsa. PPS. That's right, I'm broke. Don't know how that happened really. Be a dear, I sort something out before I have to file for bankruptcy. well, oh, good job there, Grandma. So it's good having this store in such prime condition. I believe in you. Well, I'm pretty sure like with the mail protocol is still left to do too. Like this is going to take more than one session, so what about we call it a day here? Well, I'm going to call it anyway, like whether you object or not. I'll get rid of the salt shaker, I guess, if I can. There we go. Yep. Well, I hope it won't be like bankruptcy ending, but I'm sure it will be fine. But anyway, thank you for watching. I guess we'll be playing this next week again. Seems decent enough. Kind of like, well, the romance is probably going to take a little while longer because I think the page says that it's like 25k words or something, so it's, well, kind of like a novel length almost. Well, could be like a sort of kind of novel, so well, and reading it aloud is going to take some time, but well, seems fun, so let's see where this goes next week. Thank you for watching and bye bye.